Hola guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Roxanne. If it's your first time here, then welcome. Today I want to talk to you guys about the books that I want to read for Nonfiction November. I will leave all of the information down below for Nonfiction November. Hi! Hi baby! For Nonfiction November, there are 4 prompts. And so I chose something that I thought would sort of fit for that prompt. I may be skewing it just a little bit, and then I have 2 additional books that I would also like to get to, that I would like to get to at some point as well. Maybe if not start them in November, but maybe they might replace one of the ones that I have, or kind of, I just wanted to have a few more options. So the 4 sort of prompts are home, substance, love, and scholarship. And you're free to interpret those as you wish. And so I looked through my nonfiction TBR and I picked 4 books that I thought might fit those that criteria, or those prompts. So the first prompt is home, and so I decided to choose a book that talks about my home, my original home, which was Puerto Rico. And so I chose War Against All Puerto Ricans, Revolution and Terror in America's Colony by Nelson A. Dennis. This book, I have been told that people absolutely love it, that it completely changes the way they think about Puerto Rico and about the relationship between Puerto Rico and the United States, and their perspective just completely changes. But I have also been told to come at this book cautiously, because it can kind of take something and sort of run with it and maybe not put it in the best context or explain it as well. So to take it with a grain of salt. So I will do that. I'm sure that I will still learn a lot from this book. I heard that second part of it. I've heard those things after I had already purchased the book. So, but I'm curious enough, and it's impacted enough of my friends for me to want to read it and sort of see where I fall in that, I guess, spectrum of opinions with regards to this book. So I hope to get to it and we'll see what I think. For substance, I chose a topic that I think is of substance, that a person, that Americans specifically, but I guess that citizens of substance should know about, something that we should all just become more familiar with and learn about, and that is immigration. And so this one is just going to be a very specific look at a very specific issue within the scope of immigration, and that is racism and state violence in the U.S.-Mexican border, and that is No One is Illegal: Fighting Racism and State Violence in the U.S.-Mexico Border by Justin Akers Chacon and Mike Davis. This book was sent to me by Haymarket Books. They are a nonprofit book publisher that has a wide array has just many varied nonfiction picks that you should take a look at. They have really good sales every now and then, and I approached them and asked if I could have a book and read it and talk about it. And so they sent me this one, and I'm super excited about it because it's been on my radar for a very long time and I really wanted to get to it, and so here it is. Gonna read it next month. Then is Love, and so that one for me, what I did was I looked and through the books that I have, and I looked for a topic that I love, or just something that I'm passionate about and that I love. I didn't have anything about love, so I decided to just go with something that really means a lot to me. And of course the past 2 books have topics that mean a lot to me, but this one does as well, and it is Undivided Rights: Women of Color Organize for Reproductive Justice by Jael Silman, Marlene Gerber-Fried, Loretta Ross, and Elena Gutierrez. And so my neighbors So reproductive justice is something that I care very deeply about. It is something that I volunteer my time, my efforts, and my money on. Since I moved to New York, I have been able to do that less just because I am so ridiculously busy. But for the past, I'd say 2 years, year and a half, I had been back in Orlando specifically. I had been volunteering with Planned Parenthood. I had been becoming a lot more involved in the community. I helped to start this group of people, especially women of color, talking about things like sexual education and doing really, really awesome events and educational events. And I have, like I said, I've been able to do that. I have not been able to do that since I moved here just because I don't have time, but it in my list of things to do is to find organizations here that I'm sure there are so many in New York that deal with topics like this, that come at it from an intersectional perspective, that specifically target and focus on communities of color, communities with less resources, because that's where our help is needed the most. And so I am a woman of color who has helped organize for reproductive justice, and so learning more about it is something that I'm incredibly passionate about and that I love. This is something that I love to learn about, and so these are pretty chunky books. So, but whatever, I'm very, very excited about this. This is also a Haymarket book. You see the little logo right there. Then the last topic is scholarship. And so for me, I just chose something that I wish I had learned more about in school, which for me is just women and the role that they've had in history in general. It's something that I've always wanted to learn more about. And so I looked through the books that I had, and one woman that is infamous and yet I know almost nothing about her is Cleopatra. So this is by Stacy Schiff. She is also the author of Witches, or The Witches, which talks about the Salem witch trials. And so I'm excited about this one. I've heard really good things about it. Also a pretty chunky book, but I can't wait to learn more about Cleopatra and who she was. So the two books that I have sort of extra, just in case I have time for them, or maybe I'm more in the mood for them, are Columbine by Dave Cullen. This is also a huge book, and this one talks about what occurred. So yes, I know almost nothing about Columbine, and I really want to learn more, really get a better understanding of what happened, and just see what this book can offer as far as just understanding and knowledge on that, because it's something that unfortunately happens way too fucking often in this country. So this book, I guess that could fall for substance, maybe maybe home, because I live in the United States and shit like that happens way too much. And then another one that I would love to get to, and that is very exciting and I've heard very, very good things about, is Unmentionable: The Victorian Lady's Guide to Sex, Marriage, and Manners by Therese O'Neill. I've heard nothing but awesome things about this book. I've heard it's hilarious. I've heard it's very educational, very like eye-opening and awesome, because you know a lot of us love to read Victorian set era books. So I'm very excited to get to this one, hopefully next month. So those are the books that I hoped to be able to get to for Nonfiction November. As I said, I will leave all the information below for the hosts, for the topics, for everything. As always, thank you for watching and for listening. I love and appreciate you guys very, very much. And as I have been doing lately, there is information down below where you can read and donate to hurricane relief and earthquake relief and just sort of natural disaster relief down in the description bar. Anything that you can do or donate or share is appreciated. Thank you very much.